I do think I got obviously very lucky at just like the timing and when GSJ needed people to come help just because of how difficult kind of this turnover is and how busy election season is. Um, you can't really have enough hands on deck. There's just you can't have enough eyes on a survey before it goes out. So I've only been there for I think 6 weeks. Um, it was a hard transition, certainly from kind of doing all of this academic work and not having too much oversight, or really not even having that many people kind of eyes on my work, and then go into
You are working remotely, so
yeah.
the people you're working with, I don't even know if you've ever met them.
I've only met I think two of them before, um,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise
That's right.
no.
You said you them. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been really difficult. Is I think some of my skills don't really translate like that. I'm definitely more of a hands-on, watch as I learn as I'm watching other people do the task.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really been able to do that. Sometimes, obviously, you can screen share with people, but that's not always as helpful as it sounds like it's going to be. But I've been lucky enough to work on drafting some surveys for different private and for like companies, corporate companies, and also be a part of a number of congressional races across the country. And not only do I get to kind of be in on what drafting a survey is, kind of talk to these clients and see what it is they need from us, what they're looking to achieve, whether it be just you know, uh, I'm running for this office and I'm not really that well known. Um, how do we get my how do we get me to be above whatever the incumbent is going to be? And first of all, listening to the data team just kind of sounds like gibberish. But I'm also lucky at Marist to have been able to incorporate, coding skills with my polling, with kind of my math courses, and know at least what they're talking about, and also be in on learning about what it means to like model a survey after what the scope of whatever like state or constituency that we're looking at, how to make sure that math works out is incredible, and I almost can't believe people do it. I just incredible minds really that make it all come together at the end. Listening to surveys, kind of like the way coaches at the poll do, making sure that everything is that we've put out is exactly the way we need it to be. Making sure that there's proper probing, people not putting their own spin on there, being too leading, and then coming back and looking through all that data has been really eye-opening, not only for myself and my own kind of like politics and informing myself about the way things are going around the country, but also being able to read kind of the qualitative work that comes in and know exactly what one person is thinking on something and be able to say, this opinion is important and this is going to be a part of our analysis and this is how we're going to move forward with it. And then just presentation skills is a big one. I've not been able to do it obviously because of quarantine, but my bosses are very, very skilled at giving kind of like phone, online, these presentations. Everyone is very, very quickly adapted to this kind of all online world, which has been incredible. But I really do look forward to being there in person, kind of seeing the lay of the land. I even if this doesn't last very long, this kind of opportunity, I do think that I was uniquely prepared by my education at Marist, and just meeting the people that I did, whether it was you and spending any kind of extra time I had working with the polls, working with the backends in SPSS, or just like looking at the methods. or spending time with Professor Kakness, who was so helpful when it came to my qualitative progression. I don't think I even would have been able to make those really big connections between political science and math to be in this position right now. So it's very exciting. It's a steep learning curve for sure. And I just feel like I'm very excited to be able to take these skills now and find a way to apply them in like the most meaningful way I possibly can, whether that be kind of try and take these skills and work for a nonprofit, or take these skills and work for a campaign that really matters to me, or just for advocacy. Quantitative skills are always necessary, a lot more than I could have even anticipated. So it's been very exciting.
Yeah, no. And as I began when I introduced you at the beginning, that you do represent a blend of rare interests, and both being a double major in political science and in math, and having been able to synthesize those two. What this hour has demonstrated very clearly also is that you also have a great passion for moving the society forward and making those kinds of changes that your generation needs to make, and probably sooner than later. So it's just it's very reassuring, and it's just a delight to see you put all this together. And I know you don't know exactly where the future is going to take you, but I think you're already on the path. I think your future may be right on the path you're on right now, but we'll see how that is. But certainly, I look forward to when you do reach New York for real, and then to bring you back to Marist College, the actual campus, get done with this remote methods, and have you meet with some students who also would like to follow, believe it or not, in your footsteps that you have already established in this brief 6 weeks that you've been, quote, out in the world. So I thank you for your research, and I thank you for your time tonight. And I just wish you the best of luck down the road. And if all Marist students and all graduates represent the college the way you do, the college itself has a great future. And so I think that's really wonderful. And so thank you, Katie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. And thank you to Rebecca Spellmeyer for putting this together along with Dr. Snyder. Thank you. This is wonderful. I know I'm not the best speaker. I get very nervous, but
didn't show at all.
And I hope that this is such a fun initiative. And I've always wanted, when I was an undergrad, really kind of wanted opportunities like this to see, like, what does an honors thesis look like? How do I even, because it seems so like overwhelming to have a project this big and say something meaningful about maybe the community, the nation, the world, or just your personal interest. Really fun to kind of see it come to fruition.
If the Biden campaign had read your paper, it would have saved them a lot of strategy sessions to figure out that what they're doing is right there in their paper. So I think that speaks legions for the kind of work that you've done. So nothing but the best of luck, and please stay in touch.
Thank you, Professor.